What is happening, beautiful people? Welcome to an episode of Ask Men. This is under my other YouTube channel, which is Men That Win. So first off, thank you for joining me. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Today's discussion point, talking point, questions, whatever you want to call it, is how important is it for you to get your partner to orgasm? This is already this is gonna be fascinating. Let's get a bit of a backstory on this. How would you react if your SO, significant other of almost 2 years, told you that they never once orgasmed with you? Would you have been able to tell? What would you do? Edit, no faking for 1.5 years. I moan when it feels good, which he might interpret as me coming, but I don't. No issues orgasming when masturbating either. Now I'm gonna assume that this is a girl reading this, or possibly a boyfriend. I'm gonna assume it's a chick here. Anyway, my thoughts on the whole how important is it for you to get your partner to orgasm? I think it is so fucking important to get your partner to orgasm during sexual intercourse. Because, for one, I mean, if you're not both enjoying it, what is the point of it? Like, if I have sex with a girl and I just get off and that's it, what a waste of fucking time. And you want it to be fun, you want to both enjoy it. It's kind of like if you both go out for a meal, you both want to like, oh, this is quite nice, this is tasty. Not just like, sit there and watch me eat and then you just like, oh, I don't like fucking this meal. It's so important that you're both enjoying sex. Now, the way to fix this is obviously with communication. You've got to say harder, slower, I like a bit of this, I like a bit of that. Otherwise, it's a waste of point. Now, I personally, maybe I shouldn't go too deep in this, it's YouTube, but in terms of my thing, I do not enjoy it if the girl doesn't get off. And I would see it as a failure as a man if I could not make the girl who's with me come. I would see it as like, oh, that is shit, you know, it's no good. If they're not enjoying it, how the fuck could I possibly enjoy it? But anyway, we'll delve into this a little bit more, but let's read what everyone else is talking about first. I'd be shocked and hurt that this wasn't known earlier, and we would have a long conversation about how to make it happen. Yes. Communication is so important. If you aren't discussing what you do like, a little to the left, a little bit deeper, a little bit lower, a little bit fast, a little bit slower. If you aren't discussing what you like, what turns you on, what doesn't turn you on, how can you ever possibly expect to enjoy the sex you're having, to make it better, to get better at it, and for them to finally climax? Great answer. It's very important. Great answer. I'd feel sexually inadequate if it's been 2 fucking years without a single orgasm. It's so true. And I'd be really curious to sort of think, like, I mean, no one knows what the actual sort of sex life is of the average person because everyone's different, you know, and especially as a guy, guys are always lying and saying like, yeah, I go for hours, bro, and she came 7 times and did it. And it's usually just a load of shit. It would be so interesting to know whether the person actually got off or not. And again, this is where communication comes because, I mean, anyone can fake it. We can all go, oh, you know, and we can all lie about it. But unless you're, like I said, having frequent sex, enjoying it, and then communicating with that person, how can you ever possibly expect for them to get off and for you to enjoy it? I know I'm repeating myself here. Change, ask for instructions because clearly I don't know what I'm doing if it's 2 fucking years. Oh, here's a good one. It's not necessarily the guy's fault. I have an insanely high sex drive and an insanely hard time orgasming with my partner. I was with my ex for 4 years and can count on 2 hands how many times I climaxed. 0 problem when masturbating. We tried various toys, a couple's vibrator, different positions, foreplay, etc. It was 7 months between my first and second orgasm with him. So, yes, it definitely does seem to be that it's a lot harder for a girl to get off, but, you know, it's up to us as a man to find the way to do it, you know, whether it's with your dick, your fingers, your tongue, whatever it is. It's important for you to find the way that gets them off, and every girl is going to be different, and hopefully the person that you settle down with, you're going to have amazing sex with. Back to the point of, get off topic here a little bit. It's so important as a man to be competent in your life, and one of those things that needs to be competent is you need to be, like, good in bed. You need to be, you know, if you finish sex and she's like, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna feel like I didn't contribute anything to that. I'm like just like an average like guy. I mean, one of the ways that we measure ourselves as a man these days is definitely on sexual performance. Now, you know, we're obviously some of us are limited by what sort of genitals we have and all that sort of stuff, but enthusiasm counts up for so much of it, and then communication, and you can definitely get better. I mean, I think about when I was having sex with girls when I was 18, and like, first off, girls, I want to apologize. Didn't even know what I was doing. But now, I'm a tiny bit better. But it's because I've practiced. It's because I've communicated, I've asked, you know, and I'm not saying after you have sex, you know, here's a questionnaire, fill out the form, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was my doggy versus how was my missionary? But again, it's so important to communicate this. Even this conversation that we're having right now, it's so important to communicate. I'm a man and can easily come. My wife needs at least 30 minutes to 2 hours of play before she can come. As a man, I need about 10 to 30 minutes and sometimes I don't even come, and that's okay for me as long as she did. My goal is always for her, except the morning 5 to 10 minute quickies before shower and work. Those are just for fun, lol. That's the great mentality there. What he's got is what did he say exactly? My goal is always for her. I really think that's so important because we can, as guys, usually get off so quick. I mean, as a dude, you go fucking flip open your laptop, you watch a bit of porn, and then, in a minute or two, you're done. You're good to go, whatever. But with girls, it seems like there's a lot more of a process, and it's such a psychological thing. If you make it your goal, if you talk to them, communicate with them, eventually you can get them off, and this will give you a better relationship. You will feel better about yourself. You'll feel more confident, guys. This is so, so, so important, and you're gonna be shit at it first, but you'll just get better at it over time. For me, a male, it's the #1 reason I have sex. Getting a girl to orgasm is the best thing ever. It's way more important than my own orgasm. So if I'm with a girl who doesn't, I'd keep trying different things. I know a lot of girls require direct clit stimulation. So in your case, if it turns out I've been wrong about your orgasm for 2 years, I'd feel pretty embarrassed and I'd be apologetic. I wouldn't blame you. Again, so we should really go back to the original comment, which is this girl talking about, feeling weird and not being able to communicate. If she had communicated with this guy and said, this is why I'm not coming, then maybe this wouldn't have happened, and those 2 years wouldn't have exactly been wasted in vain, because they kind of are. Like, it's a long time to go between orgasms, ladies. Again, I like this. It's the #1 reason I have sex. Do not be a selfish lover. If you're a selfish lover, #1, you should feel a bit shit about yourself. It's just like you're not putting in a good performance. You want to go, like, if you're going to do anything in life, you want to do it well. And especially when it comes to sex. Especially as a guy, because that's almost like the one thing we're always aiming for. We're always aiming to have sex with a girl. And if you're not doing a good job, when you finally get that ultimate prize or that ultimate achievement, whatever you want to call it, what the fuck is the point? And of course, if you do a good job, they're more likely to call you back. They're more likely to make you their boyfriend. They're more likely to marry you. Be good. Be good at sex, communicate, get better, learn. Not a man, but you sound just like me. I don't have difficulty when I'm by myself. But when I'm with my boyfriend, I enjoy it a lot and it feels great. But I have never orgasmed with him. I know it hurts his ego. We've been together for over 2 years and I tell him I've come close, but realistically, I can't ever see him getting me there. I think most guys believe it's absolutely crucial to make a girl come, but I always enjoy myself and don't feel unsatisfied. Obviously, it'd be great if I could, but it's really not a big deal. I voiced this to my boyfriend and he understands, but I know deep down he really wants me to get to the point of no return. Lol. I guess it isn't great for a guy's ego, but men need to realize it's really not crucial to make your girlfriend come as long as you're still pleasing them. That's a very, very interesting point. When a girl says that it's not, some girls will just struggle to get off. I think, I don't know what the percentage was, but like some girls have never ever had an orgasm. And so this lovely lass here is explaining that she just enjoys having the sex. It's not about finishing. So, I mean, that sounds like a bit of a rare case. It sounds pretty interesting. And I still think that they could work on it more and more and more, toys, whatever you want to do, and you could eventually get there. I hate the idea of ever giving up and just, this is the best, is what it is. You should always, always be striving to improve. But yes, you're right, it can definitely be an ego boost. If you as a guy don't do it now. Like I said, when I was younger, I remember, I don't even think for the first like 2-3 years, I even fucking made a girl come. It was just like, it was terrible. So I mean, but again, you just get better with it over time. Again, with communication and practice. That's the only thing you can really do, fellas. And maybe things like edging, so when you watch porn, you don't just immediately finish, you just get yourself to close and then you stop. Get yourself close and then you stop. And that will help you to control it so you don't finish too early, which can usually be a bit of a problem, like prematurely finishing, which is why the girl doesn't finish. It's important to me, and I feel pretty lied to if I realize she's been faking for 2 years. I want the opportunity to improve rather than have my ego stroked. Excellent, excellent attitude is, like you said, you want to improve, you want to be better. I mean, I can't think of anything worse. It'd be like training someone in fake martial arts for years, and then when they finally come to a fight, they don't have no idea what they're doing. Or, teaching someone wrong all this time, whatever skill or, whatever it is we're talking about. And then when it actually comes down to it, they're terrible. Ladies, don't shy away from, be as sensitive as you can around guys, because we got very shallow, fragile egos when it comes to sexual things like that. But don't be afraid to say, look, that was fun, but maybe this could be a little bit better. I'm gonna leave that there today with the comments from this. I thought this was a really, really interesting topic because I think that we need to discuss this more, and the more that we discuss this, the better we can get in any topic, especially something as taboo as sex. I think if couples talked more about sex, and if you were with a couple and you spoke to another one, like, we go for 7 minutes, and like, whoa, 7, we do 30, if you actually sort of like didn't feel so ashamed about these things, it's much like the naked body. If you stop being so ashamed of where you think you might be inadequate, you can actually learn and grow and change. So let's reiterate a couple of points here. First point is, make sure you're both enjoying it. Make sure you both get off if you can. Now, if you're not and you can't get her off, whatever, work on it, communicate. I mean, constantly ask your partner, is it okay, faster, slower, you know? Maybe not say constantly, but communicate with them, you know, like, did you enjoy that? Is that good? Like, I won't feel offended if you said no. It's like, my best metaphor here is it's like if a girl cooks for me and I don't like it, I'm not gonna fucking say, that was delicious, make it again. I'm gonna say, look, it was okay, but maybe we could improve here. Think of it the same way with your sexual performances. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I wanna see fucking 10,000 comments below. I want to discuss this with you guys, and we're bringing you some sort of hopefully an interesting topic next week. I'm gonna leave that here, fellas. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. All the best. Peace! I will speak to you extremely soon.